right, Vatos, it's time for the highs and lows from this past week. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Órale.
All right, let's do this. All right, let's go with the lows. I like that. We start off with the lows of the week, and then we finish strong with the highs. So get it out of the way, Goze. What's your low?
My low was kind of sad for me. It was watching PFL, and it wasn't because I didn't enjoy the card. The card was awesome.
Right.
But seeing how much was on the line and seeing these fighters just emotionally break down at the opportunity being lost to make $1 million, man, I felt like I was the one with $1 million on the line. Every time I would see one of these fighters just kneel down, it was tough to watch.
All right,
That was my low.
And so, by the way, not to capitalize on their worst moments, but a lot of times raw footage is something that people like to consume.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think even backstage, where by then they're really breaking down, you'd want to see that in somebody's personal vlog as part of their recovery for in a year or two when they go up?
Personal, yeah.
Something like that, maybe?
But I've never been a fan of the immediate reaction. I feel like the fighter should be awarded at least a little bit of time to just be themselves.
Right. And I know this is highs and lows, and I don't mean to hijack, but like in the World Series or in the Super Bowl, there'll always be one guy going, hey, we're outside the losers' locker room, and the coach will come out, and he's in a solemn state of mind. But there's something to it, and fans appreciate it. So I'm with you, man. That was something else to see. Again, we're saying lives are changing, but some people are coming within that, and they're coming up short. I'm going to stick with the same theme. We lost at UFC 230, Luke Rockhold versus Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman, 2 years ago, those guys were coming at each other a lot when they're having their little sit-downs. But a lot of respect. Chris Weidman said, I'm going to pray for Luke Rockhold. But the run Luke Rockhold has had with the injuries, man, the shin gash, remember that one? Even when he won his world title over Chris Weidman, he wasn't 100%. He just has not been able to stay healthy. And he's actually one of my favorite fighters to watch. But we just haven't seen, consecutive years, 3 times, 3 fights in 1 year, consecutive years, a total of 6 fights or anything like that. I'd love to see another run from that guy. So I hope he gets healthy soon. So, yeah, that was my low. It's just seeing that news break. That fight's off now. So Weidman does have Jacare, though. How about you, Dan Tom?
It was kind of a bum out to see, the Khabib-Conor talk take a lot of evolutions post-fight. Mainly the Mayweather and Khabib talk, rather than talking about Khabib being a dominant lightweight. And I thought that was the end of it. But on the other side, now, after this weekend goes by, I'm seeing these Conor versus Anderson Silva talks, and though nothing serious, thankfully, just the fact that this is becoming some ritualistic thing that we have to put in our lexicon, when I think a lot of us, at least the hardcores, really would like to move the other way with this. But that will be my low.
Okay, all right. How about the highs now? Let's go back to Goze. Finish strong, Goze. Give us a good high.
I'll piggyback off of what you're saying. Yeah, it sucked we lost Luke Rockhold, but how about just having a division where you could plug in a great fighter like Jacare Souza into the equation? It sucks, but then you hear that matchup and you just start playing it out in your head and you go, wow, this is just as great.
Yeah.
So that's my high.
Them on the ground. That'd be interesting if it hits the ground. Weidman's no slouch on the ground. Of course, Jacare's world class, but yeah, I love that plug and play. And to connect the dots, Jacare was going to fight David Branch, so now David Branch, if you're wondering who he has, Jared Cannonier, check the rumors tab on MMA Junkie. We always got you covered there. My high would be Steven Siler from PFL. This is a kid who shared on our show, actually, about the different times that his family asked him to retire because things weren't going well. He was 5-7 at one point, and then he said he had a real low coming out of getting cut from the UFC and then losing his first fight after that at Titan. But each time he's been able to dig deep and make an adjustment. This time he got out of his comfort zone in Utah. He's with Factory X in Colorado, and he's been on quite a run. He had a great regular season, and he backed it up in the playoffs. He'll be fighting Lance Palmer for the featherweight title, and again, $1 million at PFL 11 on December 31st. So I love stories like that. He never gave up on himself, and now he may be able to change his family's life. How about you, Dan Tom?
That's a good one. My high is a fellow Hawaiian at PFL as well. Another feel good story, maybe in a different way, but more of an impactful story. I would say. I think Siler's a feel good story, but as far as making an impact, a few can say Ray Cooper III didn't make the the largest impact of any bracket, much less his own in the welterweight.
He may be the MVP.
He may be. I mean, we may be having talking about Ray Cooper as far as welterweight standings in the future if he keeps at this run. 4 wins, 4 stoppages. Now he's on the verge of making $1 million, literally coming out of nowhere. It's so cliche. We say it all the time, but Ray Cooper came out of nowhere, and props to him.
Yeah, and along the way, he avenged the dad's loss to Jake Shields, and then he had a second run with Jake Shields. So, great season for Ray Cooper. That's a great one right there. All right, there you have it. Those are our highs and lows for this past week, brought to you by the MMA Junkie Radio team.